In the shadow of Atlantic City's glitz and glamour lies a haunted mystery that remains unsolved. Four women, including 42-year-old Barbara Breidor, were found murdered behind the Golden Key Motel in 2006. Their killer, dubbed the Eastbound Strangler, vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of questions and grief. Today, we will see into Barbara's story, seeking to shed light on a case that has baffled investigators for nearly 2 decades. True crime stories often remind us that behind every headline is a real person, with hopes, dreams, and a family left to pick up the pieces. This case is no different. We will see a dark chapter of Atlantic City's history, one that still haunts the community today. Barbara Brador grew up in a well-to-do, respected family in Huntingdon Valley, Pennsylvania. Her childhood was filled with laughter, education, and ambition. She attended Catholic school alongside her siblings, and her family fondly remembers her as the brightest of the bunch. Barbara was known for her intelligence, her quick wits, and her uncanny ability to answer every Jeopardy question. After high school, Barbara pursued higher education at Penn State University for 2 years. She later worked at her mother's successful business, the Santa Fe Trading Company, which specialized in Native American art and clothing. Despite the hardships of losing her father to aortic valve disease early 1980s and her half-brother in 2000, Barbara tried to maintain stability. However, these tragedies marked the beginning of a dark turn in her life. In 2001, Barbara's life changed when she began using painkillers, introduced by her boyfriend, Steve Frizzle. What started as a way to manage menstrual pain escalated into heroin addiction. When the couple's supply was cut off, they turned to street drugs. Their lives spiraled, and within a year, Barbara had lost custody of her daughter, Dominique. Desperate and trapped in addiction, Barbara found herself working the streets of Atlantic City to support her habit. On October the 17th, 2006, Barbara was last seen leaving a duplex on North Lafayette Avenue, where she had been staying with friends. Days turned to weeks, and her absence became more troubling. Friends and family grew anxious, but with Barbara's transient lifestyle, her disappearance wasn't immediately reported. Then, on November 20th, 2006, 2 women walking behind the Golden Key Motel made a horrifying discovery. The decomposing bodies of 4 women, including Barbara, laying face down in a drainage ditch. The discovery shocked the community, and detectives began piecing together what had happened. The 4 women were found laying face down, fully clothed but barefoot. Their heads pointed east. The positioning of the bodies and their lack of shoes raised chilling questions about the killer's motives. Investigators identified the other victims as Kim Raffo, Tracy Roberts, and Molly Dilts. Each had a history of addiction and had experienced significant personal loss before ending up on the streets of Atlantic City. Toxicology reports revealed a disturbing pattern. Large amounts of cocaine in Kim and Tracy's bodies, alcohol in Molly's, and a lethal dose of heroin in Barbara's. This led to a theory that the killer might have sedated them before the murders. It's hard not to think about how vulnerable these women were. Each had faced hardships from loss and addiction to isolation, making them easy targets for someone with sinister intentions. One name surfaced during the investigation: Terry Olson, a guest at the Golden Key Motel. He admitted to discovering construction boots on the motel roof, a seemingly odd detail. Olson provided hair and DNA samples and even volunteered for a polygraph test, but no evidence linked him to the crime. Despite public suspicion, he was never charged. Years later, speculation arose about a connection to the Long Island serial killer. But investigators found no concrete link. The cases remain open, and the victims' families are left with the void hoping for justice and answers. Barbara's family never truly recovered from the loss. Her daughter, Dominique, grew up without her mother, carrying the weight of unanswered questions. The community still wonders how such a calculated killer could vanish without leaving a trace. Cases like Barbara's remind us that behind each victim is a human being, a daughter, a mother, a friend. While the investigation continues, the families hold on to the hope that one day justice will be served. Thank you for joining us as we explored the tragic story of Barbara Breidor and the Eastbound Strangler. If you have any information about this case, please contact the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant.